Plants vs. Zombies, a series you probably played or even heard of. Over the years, the series had many spin-offs ranging from simple tower defense games or crazy innovative shooter games. And due to these many games and their success, this would eventually lead to the rise of marketable plushies. And since the series is so popular, there are many of these plushies from the various games. And some of these plushies are very uncanny, to say the least. Like, what is this? But some of these would eventually turn extremely rare and fade into obscurity, and some of these plushies wouldn't even be able to see the light of day ever again. Sorry that I forgot to mention this before, but this iceberg will be on really rare PVZ plushies that are very obscure, like that you don't see every day. With all this given, let's get into the iceberg. Jazzwares Brown Coat Zombie. The Jazzwares Brown Coat Zombie plush, released in 2012, got discontinued in 2014, then later re-released the same year. It is a pretty detailed plush that comes with a sound chip. I'll show you some things it says. Unfortunately, it's not a very rare plush, and it's very well known, which is why it's so high up. Hollywood Lily Pad plush. The Hollywood Lily Pad plush is certainly unique. It was released in 2010 and likely discontinued around 2012-2013. This is definitely a rare plush, but it's very well known, which is why it's so high up on the iceberg. ThinkGeek Yeti Zombie. This Yeti Zombie plush by ThinkGeek is a pretty infamous plush. Released in 2013 and discontinued in 2015, he's so high on the iceberg because he is a very well-known plush, but he is extremely rare. Jazzwares Disco Zombie. This is a pretty ugly plush compared to the other dancing zombie plushies, but I still have a soft spot for it. The plush was released in 2014, then discontinued in 2017. Since it was out for so long, the plush isn't very rare or niche, hence why it's at the top of the iceberg. I feel like Jazzwares could have done better though. Peepy Girl Snow Pea and Repeater Zombie. This is definitely a unique plush based on the Zombotany plushies from PVZ1, made by Peepy Girl. It was released in 2011 and discontinued in 2012. Ultimately, it's a rare plush, but not that niche. This plush also has a Snow Pea variant, which I'll put on the screen now. I really like the design on these plushies. Lynxon Citron. The Citron is another decently rare plush made by Lynxon. Released in 2015 and discontinued in 2016, it had a very short production run and was mostly distributed in China. But this plush is well known, which is why it is where it is on the iceberg. Peepy Girl Blover. This is one of the only Blover plushies, and it's made by Peepy Girl. Released in 2011 and likely discontinued around 2013 to 2014. This is a rare plush, but it's still pretty well known, hence it's placed on the iceberg. Bootlegs. Yes, you did read that right. Bootlegs are more rare and obscure than you think, like the bootleg Snorkel Zombie, or the bootleg Balloon Zombie, and the bootleg Screen Door Zombie. These are pretty rare plushies, but everyone knows what a bootleg is, so that's why it's so high up. They come out of places like Mexico, and some of these are really expensive. But yeah, that's about it on the bootlegs. Peepy Girl Dancing Zombie. The Peepy Girl's Dancing Zombie first design was released in 2011 and got discontinued after 2012. Since this plush has two different designs, there's only much to say about them. But, unfortunately, this is the most well-known disco zombie plush that's out there, so that's another reason why it's so high up. Peepy Girl Dancing Zombie 2. The Peepy Girl Dancing Zombie second design was released likely around 2013 to 2014, and it was likely discontinued around 2015. This plush has a lot of detail and is very rare, just like the first one. I don't know why this plush got two different designs, but I guess it's pretty cool. Sunny Love Tall Nut Plush Pillow. The Sunny Love Tall Nut Plush Pillow is another infamous plush and is very well known, which is why it's at the tip of the iceberg. It was released in 2012 and discontinued in 2014, and it's a pretty rare plush for it just being a pillow, because who'd want a PVZ plush pillow? World Max Cake Zombie. This is another plush made by World Max, released in 2015 and discontinued around 2017 to 2018. This was likely made for an anniversary of Plants vs. Zombies. Since it's tied to an anniversary, the plush is much rarer than other World Max zombies, earning its spot in the iceberg. Hollywood Cattail Plush. Wow, Hollywood really outdid it with this cattail plush. It's really detailed and amazing. It was made in 2011 and discontinued likely around 2013 to 2014. This definitely deserves its spot as it's a very rare plush and detailed. Linkson Garlic Angel Keychain. Ah yes, Garlic Angel, made by Linkson, but it's the keychain variant that makes it rare and obscure. It was released in 2012 and likely discontinued around 2013. This is such a random plush. I don't get why the keychain version is more rare than the original. And oh yeah, I actually own this plush for some reason. Linkson Spring Bean. This Linkson Spring Bean is so game accurate and detailed. I love it. It was released in 2015 and it was likely discontinued around 2016 to 2017. It's a decently rare plush, but it's pretty well known, hence its place in the iceberg. World Max Jalapeno. This is an outstanding jalapeno plush by World Max. It looks so amazing, and it was released in 2010 and likely discontinued around 2013 to 2014. It's a pretty rare plush with a beautiful design. I love it so much. It's a shame I don't have it though. Heli World Coffee Bean. Now this is definitely a plush you don't see every day, since this is probably the only coffee bean plush. It was made by Heli World in 2010 and likely discontinued around 2012 or 2013. This plush is so high up because it's not as niche as what's to come. Jazzwares Rip and Tear Conehead Zombie. The Jazzwares Rip and Tear Conehead is one of a kind. It was released in 2013 and discontinued in 2016. What's so special about this plush is that you could pull the limbs off it with Velcro. It even had a sound chip which would play sounds in the plush. I really like this plush. It's very well made and creative. It makes it for a decently rare plush and less known. Here, I even have a video to show you a demonstration of what it does.
Hey, this is Jim from TimeToPlayMag.com. Based on the popular game Plants vs. Zombies, I have the Rip and Tear Zombie Plush. First thing you need is 3 AAA batteries. Once you install the batteries, this Plant vs. Zombies says a couple of things. It says brains and R. So let's listen to them. Brains. Brains. And he also says R. But that's not the cool part about this zombie. The cool part is you get to tear him apart. How cool is that? You just rip off his, let's rip off the other arm. But he's a zombie and he keeps saying brain, so what should we do? Let's rip off his brain. Oh, look at this. Look what's left of the zombie. This is awesome. So this is for all ages, although I wouldn't give this plush to kids under the age 3, and it's from Jazzwares. If you're a fan of Plants vs. Zombies, you'll find reviews of the other toys at TimeToPlayMag.com.
PP Girl Hair Zombie. The PP Girl Hair Zombie is an odd plush. It doesn't have normal clothes like a brown coat. Instead, it has its own unique clothes, and it also has hair. I'm pretty sure it has hair in this kind of clothes because it was originally supposed to be Pogo Stick Zombie, but it was scrapped. Don't take my word for this, though. It's a pretty well-known plush, but it's pretty rare. Released in 2011 and discontinued in 2012, there was also another version of this plush to my knowledge. Heli World Crying Tall Nut. This is an odd tall nut plush. I don't get why he's crying. Wait, actually, he's crying because it's based on PVZ-1. When a walnut gets damaged enough, it actually starts to cry. It was made by Heli World, released in 2011 and discontinued in 2012. This is a very rare and unique plush due to its short production run. World Max Repeater Plush. Now this is definitely rare. It's the only repeater plush that I think exists, and it's made by WorldMax and released in 2012, and likely discontinued around 2014 to 2015. Since he's the only repeater plush, he's definitely very obscure compared to most of the other plushies that have many different variants from different companies and brands. WorldMax Bloomerang plush. This Bloomerang plush by WorldMax is so game accurate that it's beautiful. It was released in likely around 2014 to 2015 and discontinued around 2016. It's definitely one of the only Bloomerang plushies out there, making this very rare. Well, there's another Bloomerang plushie out there. I'm pretty sure it's made by Linkson, but it's a little chunky. PP Girl Jalapeno plush. Here we go. Yet another Hollywood plush. This one is of jalapeno. Is it just me, or does it look weird? Anyways, it was released in 2010 and likely discontinued around 2012-2013. It was primarily distributed in China and Southeast Asia. This is a pretty rare and obscure plush. I didn't even know Hollywood made a jalapeno plush. Linkson Lightning Reed plush. This Lightning Reed plush by Linkson is pretty cool. It released in 2015 and got discontinued likely around 2016, which eventually made it rare. I kinda like the design on this one. Jazzwares Captain Deadbeard plush. This Captain Deadbeard plush is a Jazzwares prototype, which means it never saw the light of day. It was originally planned to release in 2016, along with the launch of Garden Warfare 2. And since it's a prototype, it's extremely rare and not very well known because it never got released. WorldMax Baseball Zombie plush. This WorldMax Baseball Zombie plush is really unique. It was released in a part of a set where the zombies were wearing seasonal costumes. It was released in 2012 and likely discontinued around 2014 to 2015. This is definitely a rare and unique plush you don't see often due to it being seasonal. Hollywood Squash plush. This plush looks like it's handmade for some reason. It was made by Hollywood. The design on this squash plush is weird. It was released in 2010 and discontinued likely around 2012 to 2013. It's definitely rare and unique due to its odd appearance. Hejin Kawaii Walnut plush. This next plush is definitely odd to say the least. Made by Hejin Kawaii, it was released somewhere between 2015 to 2016 and discontinued around 2018 to 2019. What's weird is that it is not officially licensed, but it was widely distributed, making it very rare due to it being a bootleg. I don't get why he's mad though. Hollyworld Gloom Shroom plush. Wow, that's a good looking plush of Gloom Shroom by Hollyworld. It was released in 2010 and when it was discontinued is unknown. This is another unique and rare plush due to not even being known when it was discontinued. WorldMax Brown Coat Zombie plush. This WorldMax Zombie plush is one of the earliest plushies released in 2010 and discontinued likely around 2013 to 2014. It's not as rare as others, but it's definitely pretty niche because it's one of the first ever Plants vs. Zombies plushies ever made. But it is pretty rare, so that's why I put it so low. Grupo Karmi Zombie plush. Yeah, this is a zombie plush by Grupo Karmi. They actually is a little bit of a set because they come with a blanket. It was released around 2013 to 2014 and discontinued around 2015. This plush is primarily distributed in Mexico too. God of Wealth. The God of Wealth plush, made by Playful Plush Toys, released in 2016 and is unknown when it was discontinued. This is a very weird plush. I don't know why it even exists, but it's of this zombie guy in a carpet. Pretty weird. Hollyworld Glue. Wait, we already did this one. I don't know why it's here twice. Well, that's it with this part of the iceberg. On to the next. Pillows. Yep, you heard that right. Along with making PVZ plushies, they also made PVZ pillows. Some of these designs include sunflowers, pea shooters, and other random miscellaneous objects. These are definitely rare and obscure because they're pillows and not plushies, so nobody really has them. Hollyworld Cactus plush. Overall, it seems like the Hollyworld plushies are very niche and rare. but I think this cactus plush is definitely very obscure and rare. It was released in 2010 and likely discontinued around 2012 to 2013. I also really like how game accurate it looks, unlike a certain Lynx and plush. Pangea Jack-in-the-Box Zombie. This is an odd plush of Jack-in-the-Box Zombie. Made by Pangea, released in 2011 and discontinued in 2012, it's a very rare and niche plush due to it only being out for a year and then soon discontinued. It definitely looks very unique compared to most zombie plushies, and I really like its weird design. World Max Coconut Cannon plush. This is a Coconut Cannon plush by World Max, which is way better than the Lynx one because it comes with a removable projectile. It was released around 2014 to 2015 and discontinued around 2016, making it very rare due to it only being produced for a couple years. I haven't really seen this plush that often too. Heliworld Zombie plush. This is an odd zombie plush made by Heliworld. He has an interesting design for a zombie plush and a very unique appearance. It released in 2011 and discontinued in 2011 to 2013. It had a short production run too, making it a little bit rare and strange, which is why it's so low in the Iceberg. Sega Prize Europe Disco Zombie plush. This one is definitely an oddity. It was made by Sega Prize Europe and is a sample from 2014, which I'm kinda glad I never saw the light of day. Since this is a sample, you can see why it's rare and obscure. Now this is pure speculation, but I'm pretty sure it's a prototype of the Disco Zombie like plush pillow that you'd win in a claw machine, made by the same company. Heliworld Stinky the Snail plush. Now this is a plush I bet you never seen or even heard of. This Stinky the Snail plush was made by Heliworld. It was made in 2011 and discontinued likely around 2013 to 2014. It was never widely distributed outside of China, ultimately making this very random plush extremely rare, deserving a spot on the Iceberg. World Max Rain God Zombie plush. Now this is such a random plush, made by World Max called Rain God Zombie. This plush is actually a crossover with a Taiwanese singer, whose name is Ham Hisayo, if I even said that right, who was in a PVZ promotional campaign in Asia. It was released in 2012 and will likely discontinue around 2013. So yeah, this is extremely rare and obscure. Toys Chong Dancing Zombie. This is a different design for Dancing Zombie by Toys Chong. It was likely released around 2012 to 2013 and got discontinued around 2014. So it's definitely rare and obscure. And it's also even more obscure because this is a random company that doesn't make a lot of plushies, I'm pretty sure. VG Toys Dancing Zombie plush. This is another Dancing Zombie by VG Toys, based more off the Michael Jackson design of Disco Zombie. It was released around 2012 to 2013 and was discontinued around 2014. Again, this is also very rare because it's another company that isn't known for making PVZ plushies. Never released Garden Warfare plushies? That's right, there were many unreleased Garden Warfare plushies, like the Foot Soldier Zombie, Captain Deadbeard, Disco Zombie, a Mummy Zombie too. These were suspected to release in 2016 alongside Garden Warfare 2. Some of these plushies even have different designs because they were probably in development for a couple years too. Heliworld Purple Melon Pulp plush. Why is he purple? Anyways, this Melon Pulp plush was made by Heliworld. He was released around 2012 to 2013, and it's unknown when it was discontinued. It's a very rare and obscure plush for a good reason. Like, why is he purple? That doesn't even make sense. And he also has, like, no plant stems or leaves or anything. He's just purple. But, like most Heliworld plushies, he's pretty rare. World Max Yeti Zombie plush. This Yeti plush is very obscure. Why, you might be asking? It's because it never made it past the prototype stage. This would have been an awesome Yeti Zombie plush. It had so much detail, because World Max makes some of the best PVZ plushies, in my opinion. This plush was intended to release likely around 2010 to 2011, along the launch of Plants vs. Zombies, nearly, because Plants vs. Zombies launched in 2009. Tissue boxes. That's right, there are plushies just made to hold tissue boxes. There's many different variants of these plushies, like a cop cannon or even a brown coat zombie. They're actually pretty odd, to say the least, because Who wants a zombie holding their tissues? But I do like the cop cannon one. It looks pretty good. Phone holders? Yeah, these phone holders are basically the same thing as the tissue box holders, so nothing much to say about them. They're kind of just the same thing. Snorkel zombie amalgamation. Yeah, you saw that right. This is a prototype plush for Snorkel Zombie that looks borderline terrifying. It was originally supposed to be made by World Max, but it never got finished because it's a prototype too. But it really gives me the chills. And also, this is actually the oldest form of the plush. There's a much newer, updated prototype that looks way better. See? It's just beautiful. Too bad we never got to see it though. Wait a minute, there's one more plush I actually forgot to mention, and it's also a prototype too that I bet you never heard of. This is the Poncho Zombie plush. He is a zombie from the Wild West in PvZ2. It was originally supposed to be made by Think Geek Solutions and released in 2013, but since it's a prototype and it got discontinued, which was around 2015, it's a very rare and obscure plush that you don't see every day. Not too long ago, I actually saw a listing on Mercari for this plush, and somebody bought it, so somebody's lucky out there to have it. That's the end of the iceberg. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing if you want to see more content like this. I won't always be making icebergs, but don't fear, I have lots of PvZ content to do that just doesn't involve icebergs, like odd PvZ products and even Gone for 1 and 2 challenge videos. Stay tuned.